Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the greatest empire in human history simply vanished overnight. No announcement, no final battle, no dramatic collapse, just silence. That is how many people imagine the fall of the Roman Empire. A single moment, a clear date, a sudden end. But that image is deeply misleading. Rome did not fall all at once. Rome faded away slowly, so slowly that millions of people lived and died without ever realizing they were witnessing the end of an empire. And that is precisely what makes this story so unsettling and so relevant today. The truth is uncomfortable but simple. The Roman Empire was not destroyed by one enemy, nor by a final decisive invasion. It was weakened over generations, eroded from within, until one day it could no longer function as an empire. There was no sudden collapse. There was exhaustion. There was adaptation to decline. There was the normalization of crisis. To understand how Rome fell, we must abandon the idea of a dramatic ending and accept something far more disturbing. Rome died slowly while it still appeared alive. At its height, the Roman Empire was an extraordinary machine. Its roads connected continents. Its armies defended borders stretching thousands of miles. Its administrative system collected taxes, supplied cities with food, and maintained relative stability for millions of people. By the 2nd century AD, Rome controlled vast territories across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. From the outside, it seemed impossible to imagine the end of such a system. Rome had already survived civil wars, internal rebellions, and external threats. For many Romans, the idea that the empire could ever disappear was unthinkable. But absolute confidence concealed a silent danger, the illusion of permanence. What made Rome powerful also made it vulnerable. The empire grew too large to govern effectively. Managing distant territories required constant coordination, yet communication was slow and authority increasingly fragmented. Provincial governors accumulated power. Generals commanded armies loyal to them personally, not to the state. Gradually, loyalty shifted away from the empire itself and toward individual leaders. Political power became personal. Competition became violent. Institutional stability gave way to survival. Rome remained strong, but it was no longer cohesive. As the empire entered the 3rd century, crisis ceased to be the exception and became the norm. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed. Some ruled for years. Others lasted only months. Many were assassinated. The army increasingly determined who ruled Rome, undermining civilian institutions. To secure loyalty, emperors raised soldiers' pay, increased taxes, and debased the currency. Inflation spread. Public trust eroded. And when people stop believing in their government, decline does not need to be announced. It simply unfolds. Rome did not collapse. It decayed. Administrative systems weakened. Corruption became routine rather than exceptional. Public offices were bought instead of earned. Roads were no longer repaired. Aqueducts failed. Cities shrank. Trade slowed. For ordinary Romans, life became harder, more expensive, and more uncertain. Yet none of this happened all at once. Each generation accepted a slightly worse version of the empire, and precisely because of that, almost no one resisted. Perhaps the most important question is this: why didn't Rome save itself? Because gradual decline is nearly invisible to those living through it. Constant crisis breeds adaptation. Repeated problems create normalization. What once would have been unacceptable becomes tolerable. There was no single moment demanding radical reform, only an endless sequence of small compromises, small failures and small losses. And small losses, accumulated over time, are enough to destroy even the greatest empires in history. The fall of the Roman Empire was not an event. It was a process. Rome did not fall when it was invaded. It was invaded because it was already weak. It did not lose control because of its external enemies, but because it lost the ability to govern itself. In the next episode, we will explore how political corruption and personal ambition accelerated this process, laying the groundwork for everything that followed. Because by the time Rome faced its greatest threats, it was already exhausted. And history teaches us a harsh lesson. Empires rarely realize they are dying until it is far too late.